Hi, welcome to the AllBrands show. I always forget what show I'm on. I'm your host, Courtney Dowd. Today, we are going to have a fantastic show of how to make money with your ScanNCut. I'm also going to go over, hey, if you have an embroidery business or something like that, these tips can also apply to that. So we've got a lot to cover today. I'm so excited to dive deep into this because this is a subject that I could talk about a lot. You're like, Courtney, you could talk about all the subjects a lot, and you're not wrong. So let me say hey to some of you in the chat. I see everyone jumping in. Let's see. Oh, Patricia became a member of our AllBrands Behind the Scenes group today. So congratulations, Patricia. We do a live show every Wednesday at noon that is exclusive for the membership. And it's so much fun. We have a blast. What was it yesterday? What did we do yesterday? Oh, I answered some of the questions that you guys had from Saturday's show. I told y'all, hey, put some in the comment section, questions that you guys have, and answer them on a Q&A. And we had so many questions coming in that I was like, there's no way I can answer this on one show. So for the membership alone, I answered tons of those questions, but don't worry, next Saturday, I'll answer even more. So congratulations. Also, any of our past videos we did of the membership only, Patricia, they save on our channel, on our YouTube channel. So you can go back and watch them there. All right, let's see. Michelle is here. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Julie. I'm finally going to catch you live. You did. Look, Julie, you made it. There we go. Margaret is here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Courtney. Imaginary Lauren and everyone. Our imaginary friend, Lauren. We love Lauren. She's great. She's been having to help me with some stuff off camera before this. Lauren's great. We love Lauren. Hi. Oh my goodness. All right. I've seen everyone flooding in. Hello. Hello. I'm seeing some of you already, like Brenda knows to put that hashtag AllBrands. Now, if you've never watched the show before, or if you need a reminder, if you comment hashtag AllBrands, it enters you to win a $25 AllBrands e-gift card. And we pull that after the show. So if you want to enter to win that $25 AllBrands e-gift card, go ahead in the comments, put hashtag AllBrands, and it'll automatically enter you to win. So fantastic. All right, guys, we've got a lot. I have a special guest. I'm not going to bring him in yet, or that person in yet. I will bring that person in towards the end. So I would make sure I get to that person and give them enough time. And I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you, we're not going to spoil it, but I'm seeing all these hashtag AllBrands. Now, let's go ahead. Let's see. Ooh, I see some comments. Ooh. Let's see. Beth said, how do you handle machine maintenance when you are 2 states away? Oh, no, Beth, you're not near an AllBrands. Now, if you go onto Brother's site, they should have a dealer locator because that's what we're called whenever we sell Brother machines, dealers. So they should have a dealer locator where you can type in your zip code and it'll tell you who's the closest authorized repair center. So Brother authorized repair center near you. And you want to make sure you go to an authorized Brother repair center because that makes sure that they use your warranty if you have a warranty still available to your machine. If your machine is a different brand, then I would recommend, they usually have dealer locators for whatever brand it is on that manufacturer's site. So I'm sorry, for us, for AllBrands, we are only in Texas and Louisiana, which we've got a good many stores. So we've got Metairie, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Bossier City. I'm trying to count them all. Hopefully I don't forget anyone. Did I say Baton Rouge? Yes. Houston, San Antonio, and Austin now. So our Slidell store, unfortunately, did close, but it's okay. We've got the other ones. Metairie's right there for people from Slidell. So A-okay. All right, so let's jump into this. Oh my goodness, we have a lot to go over. All right, so you want to start a business with your ScanNCut. Where do we start? What do we do? So usually I say, first thing is buying the machine. The second thing is figuring out, what are we going to sell? What are we going to make? What are we going to do? Now, if there's something that you really enjoy doing, so say you really enjoy making cups with your ScanNCut, or say you really love making shirts with your ScanNCut, well, then that is a great option to start with. Kind of feel out, what do you like to do? Because if you're not enjoying doing whatever it is, it becomes a job. And then you don't want to do it anymore. So figuring out what the item is that you want to make or that you're enjoying doing. Also, figure out what other people are doing around you. If you feel like there's a hole in the market in some kind of way, then that's perfect. So that's not even if you're doing it online or if you're doing it locally in a craft show, market, or something like that, then it's fantastic just to look around and see what's something that feels like a need that I could do. Now, there's so many different things you could do with your ScanNCut. It is insane. It is insane. Now, I love to talk about my first experience with doing stuff with my ScanNCut. So this right here is one of the first things I really realized, oh man, there's a business for this, was banners. So this was a part of a huge banner that said, "Happy birthday, Princess Angela Grace." And I think I've said this on the show before. My sister calls me was it 2 nights or the night before my niece's first birthday? Now, this is the first girl in the family. She has made our family pretty much, let's be honest. And she's like, "Hey, I forgot to get a banner for behind the smash cake." So where she's going to sit in her little high chair. She's like, "I forgot to get one made." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, we could go to the store and buy one." She's like, "But then it's not on theme." Y'all, I don't know. Tell me in the comments, is this a South thing? Because I'm from the South. Is this a Southern thing where every birthday has a theme, especially the first birthday? The first birthday theme is a thing. I think hers was a fairy tale, but usually they have some kind of pun with the number one for the first birthday. So my son Alexander, we call him Alex. So his was Alex in Wonderland, and we did it like Alice in Wonderland theme. Adorable. So it's a thing. Let me know, is that a thing where you live, where the first birthday or any of them? Oh, Cindy said, "Gotta have a theme." Okay, maybe it's just not me. Oh yeah. Okay, so we gotta have a theme. That seems to be the going one. So anyways, so she was like, "Hey, I really want a banner that kind of goes along with the birthday theme." And I'm like, "Oh, great. What do you want?" She's like, "I would love for it to have a little crown at the top and then to have it spelled out." Now, granted, I thought we were just going to put "Happy Birthday, Angela," which is the child's name, or just Angela. No, she wanted "Happy Birthday, Princess Angela Grace." So I'm like, "Okay, great. These are the different crowns that I have in my ScanNCut." And she was like, "Well, I don't like any of those." That's okay. No worries. I go online, I type in crown, and then I show her all the different crowns that are online. So like an outline of a crown. She shows me one she likes. I print it in, scan it in my ScanNCut. And now I've got that crown. I counted how many letters we needed in this giant design, or a giant banner. And then we went ahead, cut them all out, assembly line them. Then I went inside the machine and they had this like florally design. So like little flowery scallop design. Took that, cut it out as many as I needed. And then I took this shiny silver cardstock. I could not remember the word for cardstock. I cut out as many as I need for those. I showed her, "Hey, these are the fonts I have inside my machine." She's like, "Oh, I like that one." Perfect. And then I went ahead and cut out all the letters. It honestly took me about 30 minutes, and most of it was me and her being indecisive, being like, "Well, I like this font. Well, I like this font." And these were all things built into the machine except the crown. But the crown I got offline. So I didn't have to pay for that design. I didn't have to pay for the crown because, again, I just printed it out and scanned it in my machine. It turned it into a cut file. So that's the great thing about a ScanNCut, is the fact that you have a built-in scanner. So you could scan anything in and turn it into a cut file. So no matter what the theme is, you can go get a design. I think you guys remember all the Sonic the Hedgehog things I made for my son's birthday that we did on the show. I was so sick of Sonic the Hedgehog after that. But I made so many different things with Sonic the Hedgehog. We made custom stickers, we made vinyl decals, birthday things, and it was great. But it was so easy to do them on my ScanNCut because I could just scan Sonic in, and then now I can cut them out of whatever I want, resize them, rotate them, do whatever I need to do to make them. So this banner was super, super easy. Everyone was asking her at the birthday party, like, "Oh, where'd you get your banner? What Etsy shop?" And she was like, "Oh, it was custom made by my sister." And I had a lot of people asking me to do their banners. Now, unfortunately, I'm not selling as much because I'm super busy with AllBrands, but it was really great. And then again, it was fantastic because word of mouth. So at that birthday party, people are asking. And we even did a cake topper that looked like this, but it had a little A for Angela for her birthday. We did mini cupcake toppers with just the crown, and we shrunk them down and glued little toothpicks to the back of them so we could make cupcake toppers. And now I've made a cohesive collection. We also did a onesie for her with the same design on her shirt. And then we did a little one for my sister on her pocket of her shirt that said "Mom" with the crown, and then "Dad" with the crown. It was really, really, really cute. So super easy to custom make things. And again, these banners, So easy to do. And you can change it into whatever design or theme that you want to do. Now, speaking of birthdays, this is something I get a lot of questions on. I'm trying to see. Let me hurry and turn the side camera on because I feel like we need to see these things up close. If y'all are like me, you're like, we can't see it, Courtney. There we go. Is this going to turn on? There it goes. So this right here is, oh, there you go. It's already on. Let me pull it in. Let's see. Boop. All right. Let me flip cameras. All right. So let's see. This was the banner. Now it has been almost 9 years. My niece is 9, so I lost one of the points. But like, how cute and simple was that? And again, this pink design was built into the machine. I shrunk it down for that silver part. And then this design, this font was already in the machine. All I had to do was scan in the crown. And then I've got a custom design that are so easy and fantastic to make. Now, custom shirts is another thing. So if you notice, this has superheroes in it. So you've got Iron Man and Hulk and Captain America and Thor. I'm really proud of myself for remembering all their names. And so I had my ScanNCut cut out these letters. So I actually printed it with my print motor, had to scan and cut it out, and I made a custom applique design with it. So it worked out beautifully. But now I know that I can make that out of anything that I want to. So if I got fabric of those superheroes or whatever the theme is, as long as they tell me the theme, I can make something custom out of it. So let's show some examples, because I did make sure that I went and grabbed a bunch of examples. So let's talk about cardstock. Let's go back to cardstock. So we could do a banner if we wanted to. So say, again, the first birthday banner. So this one I thought was really cute. I was looking through, and they did it with cardstock, but they put newborn, month 1, month 2. So that way for the first birthday party, all they have to do is slip in photos. Now, if you are on Canvas or Artspira, there is already a template of this exact thing on there. So you don't even have to create the design. On Canvas and Artspira, they both have that design. I'm going to look up and see what the exact name is. Let's see. But they have that design in there. But if you notice, this person bundled it with other things. They made a cake topper that said 1. They also made the little crown that has a number 1 on it. So I don't know if that's cardstock or if that's fabric, but I mean, either of them would be super, super easy to do. So that is an option that you absolutely could do with your machine. And if you want to bundle them together, great. If not, you don't have to. But that is a fantastic option to be able to have. All right, so that's adorable. This one I thought was so cute because it's Mickey Mouse, or mouse themed, Disney themed, and the same concept. It was the exact same concept. Now, Courtney, you showed Disney. I thought you're not supposed to sell Disney. I know that is going to be the question of the day. So if Disney is watching, I am not telling them to sell Disney, but I am saying it's a thing. I'm not telling them to sell Disney. I'm just saying that's a thing that sells a lot, okay? Mouse is not in the house. Oh, I got some starred comments. Let's see real fast. Oops, sorry. Which is better to have for software, Mac or Windows? Ooh, you know what? Hold on to that question because there is somebody later that's going to be way better to answer that than me. Hold on to that question for right now. All right, so let's just talk about it. Let's talk about Disney. Let's jump into it. Something that I get quite a lot is the question of, can I sell Disney? Should I sell Disney? That is 100% up to you. I will say when people go to a certain place with a castle and a mouse, they do like matching shirts. I don't know these people, by the way. This is a stock photo. They do like matching shirts. That is a thing. It is a awesome thing. So this happens to be embroidery, but you could do them with ScanNCut. And everyone loves a matching shirt. It's a thing. When you go, they enjoy the matching shirts. So that is something just to keep in mind if you want to do it. All right. Now, speaking of shirts, let's jump, or no, you know what? Let's jump back. Let's go back to top. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm so sorry. Something that I love doing is cake toppers. This one's class 2024. Of course, we would need to do 25 for this year. Super easy to do. If you want to go really into depth, they really have the fun ones that you can layer. Now, the thing about this one is, you see the custom name at the top, or even on this one, that custom name, you only have to design it one time and then switch out the names. So usually when I'm going to make something this intricate, I'm just going to make it in canvas because I can layer super easily and it's fantastic. Let me know if you guys want a video on how to do that. It's going to be it's, what do they call it? The advanced class, because it's a lot, but the payoff's great. And once you make it one time, you have it and you can save it and change out the names on it. So that is something very, very easy. Speaking of birthdays, shirts, applique shirts. Now, I felt like on Saturday's video, a question that I got a lot was applique shirts. They were like, Courtney, you're saying you can cut out appliques with your ScanNCut. Can you walk me through it? We have a few different videos on the channel of how to do them, but it sounds like I need to do an updated one. And I do not mind doing that because applique shirts with the number and the child's name or the adult name, you know, they can have an applique shirt, is huge and it sells really, really well. So what you would need to do is buy some Heat and Bond Light or Wonder Under, Steamafix, Hotfix. There's so many different brands, but something to treat your fabric with. So that way, when you do the applique, we can heat it down and it stays in there until we get the stitches in there and it just seals it really nicely. Because we want to make nice things for our customers, because if we make something that's subpar, they're not going to buy from us again. We might get a bad rap. So we want to make sure that what we're doing well, which, I mean, we're going to do great, right, guys? That's not even a problem that we have. So fantastic. So again, custom birthday shirts. I can't say it enough. That was the easiest thing to get started with because all they have to tell me is a theme. Just tell me a theme and I can create it and make it great. And I can put their number on it, their name on it, whatever they want. And it's super easy. And they don't have to be super complicated. If you just want to do, like, say, the number 1, so you maybe have a bunch of appliques in just numbers. There are applique fonts in the machine. They don't have digitized files to stitch out, but they do have them. So maybe for those, I would put a Heat and Bond Ultra underneath it if you're not going to put stitches. But say we could just do the number 1 as an applique, and then across it, we could put the name of the child. How fast and how easy would that be just to make those you know, all at once? All right, let me make sure I'm coming back to the comments because that's the beautiful thing about being live is I can see all of yours. Yes, I need a video on layering. Cindy, I've got you. Don't worry. Okay, every other Cindy, I got you. There's 2 Cindys. Yeah, so I will do a layering video. No worries. All right, so shirts are fantastic. Honestly, probably one of the easiest things to do are shirts. So like this one right here, let's switch cameras again. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see. Do I need to hide comment? There we go. So like this one we made on this show before. This was a cute little Valentine's Day one. But if you have an SDX 330, this design's already in the machine. So this, and I just did it with glitter vinyl. But think about it, right here at the bottom. So the shirt's a little wrinkly because she's been in storage. I could have put the person's name and then had it custom, or even on the back, I could put their name on it. Or it would be so cute to do that. Or if they don't want to put names and they just want all of them to match, so everyone gets a matching little shirt, then that would be so easy to do. They just need to tell me what size they are or give me their shirts, which that is a whole other world of what to do, but we'll get into that. Don't worry. All right, so other ideas. Now say, Courtney, you said about them giving you the shirt. Is that a thing? Yeah, it could be. So they could either give you the shirt or you could provide the shirt. Charge more if you're providing the shirt, of course, because we want to make sure we make our money back from that. If you don't want to provide the shirt, then you could actually do something simple like how this person's going to sell, where it's the number with the name and they're just selling you the vinyl decal. They're not providing anything else, just the vinyl decal. So let's say I want to sell these little Mickey Mouse that I made. Okay. What if I just want to sell these guys? I don't want to give a shirt. I just want this. Now, I'm going to weed it out before I give it to that person. I probably would put a backer on it, but there's nothing sticky about this anymore. I'm going to sell just this. So that way, when they get home, they can put it on whatever they want. So they get this, and this is heat transfer vinyl. All they have to do is put it down to whatever shirt they want to, heat it up, and then pull off that clear transfer. It's going to stick there. Now, if you are going to sell just these, maybe add a little card about how to do it. Because what if someone's never used heat transfer vinyl before? They don't know how to stick it down and they put their iron right to that plastic and mess up their iron. So if you're going to do that route, which I've seen tons of people do this route, if you're going to do that route, make sure you're putting a little instructions card in there. Tell them to follow it. That way, if they do mess it up, You're like, hey, I gave you the instructions. That was user error. Or if we want to do something bigger, so like this Hello Pumpkin heat transfer vinyl cut out with my ScanNCut. But if I want to sell something like this, so say at a farmer's market, how cute would that be on anything they want to? Also, I've noticed, I saw someone do it at a farmer's market where they had these and they did them at a pressure sensitive vinyl and they weeded out and then they were selling those so people could put them on their cars for fall. Like how fun. And they had some Christmas ones and different ones that they were selling, and that seemed to do really well. So that's another way you could sell them. For the pressure sensitive vinyl, they would look like this. Oop, I'm with the wrong camera. There we go. They would look like this, which would be really cute. So this one I made says Mrs. Dowdett with a little apple. So if we were doing it for a teacher's gift. Now, the hard thing is if you're personalizing it like this with the teacher's name, then you need to know the name in advance. So for a market, that might be a little hard because you usually have all of your things made sitting at the table and it's a grab and go situation. Now, if you're selling online, well, then yeah, you could totally take custom orders. And how easy. So you could sell it like this. If you're selling pressure sensitive vinyl like this, then what I would recommend to do is put that transfer tape, a little square that matches this side over it. Make sure it's really well on there so they can just peel it off like a sticker and stick it on what they want. So if they want to put it on a cup, they want to put it on something like that, super easy. This design, fantastic. Fantastic. Because all I have to do is keep editing the name inside of it. And I can switch it to whatever teacher I want. So it's super easy for me to make, hurry up and have my ScanNCut cut out, and then I'm done. So absolutely so easy to do these. Now, let's talk about custom orders and let's talk about markets because those are two separate things. I've got my notes right here. I try to get a special guest on here, a different special guest. We have one more showing up, but I try to get my mom on here because she actually sells jewelry at markets. And so I was like, Mom, I'd love for you to come on the show and talk about that. And she was like, I have to get my hair cut at that time. So priorities. I'm not offended, Mom. It's okay. But she does a lot of markets. And so she had a few tips. And she was saying, hey, especially if you're starting out and you want to do local markets or something like that, she was like, there's different markets have different fees. She was like, sign up early because that's usually they'll give an early bird special. So if you want to sell some items in a local farmer's market, or sometimes they'll have Christmas markets. She said the early Christmas markets are where people buy best. She said, now granted, the later ones, they're buying in a hurry. But she said for her personally, she's been doing this years. She said the early Christmas markets are her favorite. That's where she does best. So I've got my notes from her that she had. She said she's noticed that she does the best when her booth is near the food. She said her booth does the best because they're standing in line for food. And usually it takes an extra few minutes. And they're looking over, you know, and just piddling and stuff when they're waiting in line. And they're always looking at her stuff. And so she says she usually requests when she picks her booth, she puts on there like, hi, I would like to be near, you know, whatever vendor she knows does well, that she knows kind of takes a minute. Now, she said that you're not going to know that your first time going if you've never attended that particular market. But she said that usually she says, I'd like to be near, you know, the food or the food trucks or whatever it could be. Ooh, it flashed. So that is her recommendation for that. She also said to make sure you have multiple ways for them to pay. So she does cash. She said, don't take a check. You don't know these people. She said, don't take checks, but cash is great. Venmo, she has a little QR code that she lets them do, tap or anything like that. She said, have multiple ways for them to pay because you don't want someone not buying from you because you don't have a way that they can pay you. So she said, that is always great to do that. Let's see. She said they might charge you separately for electrical. So if you don't need it, that's probably for the best. She said for like ScanNCut, she was like, oh, I would make all my items before I go there. That way, all I have to do is worry about how they pay. And I've got all my items laid out really nicely. So, all right. I really did ask her how to do all this. Let's see. So, okay, I think I went through all of her recommendations. I'm going to try to get her on the show one day because she does a lot of markets. All right. So, if you're like, you know what, markets really aren't my thing. How am I going to sell? I personally, I feel like word of mouth is how I got the most traffic was word of mouth. So For like teachers' gifts, I would put in one of my cards. You can buy cards, a good bit of them, like little business cards like this with your information on there. I'm going to cover up my information. Look, I'll switch it to this camera. There we go. I'm going to cover up my phone number, but there we go. This one happens to be my work one, but it would be similar. A cute little card with your logo or something on the back would be great, because then that way, there we go. That way, it's say we did this cup right here. Okay, how do I open it? Let's see. How do you open these? Oh, it's a pop. Okay, so say I did this cup right here for a teacher appreciation gift or something like that. I just put my card in there, and then I can go ahead, sell it, gift it, whatever I want to do. And if someone likes the cup, they have my information to rebuy another one from me. So you can usually get a pretty big stack of little business cards, and not a crazy price. So this one, I don't know this person. This is who we get AllBrands from. 5-Star Printing and Signs. That's who we got these from. And again, it's just a big stack of them that I would leave wherever I'm packaging up my items to just throw them in. Because honestly, the best customers in the world, all of them, but teachers, they will tell each other where they got something. Nurses will tell each other where they got something. Word of mouth is fantastic. So they will tell each other where they got things. And that's how I got a lot of my business. So whenever I would do like embroidery for shirts, it was constantly, oh, hey, does anyone know who embroiders uniform shirts? So like on Facebook, I would recommend posting the things that you make. Post them. So that way, if someone sees it and then they see someone ask, hey, do you know anyone that does vinyl shirts? There you got it. So you're good to go, and you can go ahead and they'll recommend you. So absolutely love that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting messages back here. Now, I will say the first customer I had was my brother. He had a detail business, and he was like, hey, can your cutter machine make me some shirts that I can wear, my guys can wear, that have our logos on it so we feel more official, we look like we're, a business? Absolutely. I was like, do you have like a cut file of your logo, because he wanted me to embroider some stuff too. I'm like, do you have a digitized file? And the eyes glazed over. He was like, what? Because if you're not you do this lot, they don't know the lingo. And so I'm like, hey, do you have a picture of your logo? He was like, yeah, here you go. Scanned it into my ScanNCut, turns it into a cut file. Also, I digitized with the scanning mat on my machine, digitized that way so I can embroider. So super easy, super fast to do it. Absolutely loved it. And then I could make him a ton of different shirts. So that was great. Let's see. So for like a man, you could just do the pocket logos or on the back. This isn't his business, just for references. But this could be something super easy, because a lot of times what I noticed was not only did he want those shirts for him and his guys that were working, but they also had a few extra that they gave to customers. So that way, to say they have a good customer or they just want to do it for a new customer, they're going to give them a shirt and be like, hey, here you go. Here's a free shirt. And then that's going to help build up his business. Now, if you have a customer that buys from you pretty regularly, what I would recommend to do is throw in a freebie item. That is not something that they purchase. So say they're purchasing a bunch of shirts from you, maybe throw in a koozie, like a koozie that you made. So this is a vinyl koozie, but maybe throw in a koozie with their logo. So that way they realize, oh, wait, she does additional things. So she's not just doing shirts. She can do cups. So you could get like inexpensive little cups, put their logo on it if you already have the logo. And then that way you can gift it. And a koozie is what? A few cents? They're not crazy expensive. Now, I wouldn't do that for every customer because that's going to get expensive fast. But just for a few of them. And then that way it's going to get them asking, wait, what else does she make? What else can she do? And then you build off of there. Now, if you want to just do cups, I hate to say just. If you want to do cups and if you want to do shirts, but you don't want to have to do additional things, that's fine. Know where your bread and butter is. Know what your best sellers are. If you want to stick to those, A-okay. But if you do want to branch out, then gift them that additional item. Now, again, if you're going to sell the first birthday items, maybe throw in an extra little first birthday small thing. And then that way, that person's going to have a second child or a second birthday, third birthday, fifth birthday. And then maybe it's a thing that they constantly buy from you. So super, super helpful to be able to do that. But again, those teachers and nurses, like a teacher cup. This is what I was talking about. Throwing that card into that cup, throw one into there. Teacher appreciation, nurses, they've got their cups. They're walking around with them. They don't want to accidentally grab someone else's cups. And those are vital cups. Those are fantastic to use and to sell. And again, if you have this design, it's not hard. Just switch it out. Like say this one, for example, best teacher ever. That's a design that I'll have in my machine saved. I can cut it out. And all I have to do is hurry up and type in a new font for that teacher's, or not new font, new lettering for that new teacher's name. And I can make them really, really quickly. So absolutely great. But again, doing that and throwing in a little business card never hurt anyone. So I feel like I'm rattling a ton of information off to you guys, but honestly, it's so great. And then I wouldn't charge a ton. So let's talk about how do I make sure that I'm pricing correctly? Because I feel like sometimes in the comments, I'll see someone saying, hey, I'm starting, and I don't even know where to start to price. That is a great question. So it depends on your area, because I feel like people in like California can charge more than I can in my area. It's what's competitive for the market. See what everybody else is kind of charging and go near there. But you want to make sure that you're getting the cost of your material. So the things that you used to make whatever the item was, we want to make sure we make that back. The item, the blank that you used, if you're using it on a blank, we want to make sure we get that item back, because if not, well, then you're kind of making it for free, and that's not what we want to do. Also, you need to pay yourself. So your time is money, and you are worth so much time, so much money for your time. But we're also going to make sure that we are covering our expenses. So let's say that something that only took me 10 minutes to make, and then something that takes me an hour to make, those shouldn't be charging the same. But if you're like, hey, the items that took to make that 10-minute thing were way more, okay, well, then that makes sense. So we want to make sure we're competitive in the area, and we want to make sure that we are paying for our time, because we don't want to do anything for free. We need to make sure it's worth our while, that we are charging ourselves correctly. So, all right, let me see. I'm making sure. Oh, thank you so much, Maureen. You're so sweet. Oh, we have another member, Barbara Jones. Congratulations. She just joined AllBrands Behind the Scenes. All right, so I'm making sure. Oh, we have a starred comment. Let's see. Oh, it was the membership one. Okay. The starred comment, shy up front. All right. Now, I'm going to go into more of these. Do not worry. But I really think we should bring in our special guest. So I'm just going to go ahead and add him to the stage. Hi.
Hello. I'm going to have to apologize for my voice. I am a little under the weather.
So if you're not familiar, and I love that his icon is a cartoon of me and him, this is my husband, John Dowdett. Hi, John.
Hi.
So he is under the weather, and I still talked him into coming in the show. He was like, look, can I not show my face? I will gladly talk. They're going to have to bless my voice. So we've got John Dowdett here today. Hi.
Hello.
So John is a wealth of knowledge about so many things, but in particularly, I was talking about people starting their business. So back in the day when he was 12 years old, yes, I'm going to tell this story. He was 12 years old. He created our website. Way back when, he asked his dad, why aren't we on the internet? And his dad was like, what is the internet? And so John has been fantastic for our website, but also he's constantly looking at different things. And so I called him and I was like, hey, can I get some suggestions of why they would want to go with this platform compared to this platform? And then he started rattling things off and I got very overwhelmed. So I'm like, would you come on the show? So thank you, John. Everyone's saying hi in the chat. All right. So John, a lot of people start, or they think about Etsy. Etsy is the first place that a lot of people think about when they're thinking about opening a shop. What are your thoughts on Etsy compared to maybe your own website?
I think Etsy is a perfect place to start. The thing about Etsy is that it does all of the hard work about the technology side for you. All you have to do is pay a small listing fee and pay a reasonable selling fee, and you're good to go. If you're starting off small, it's especially good because they don't lock you into monthly plans that are recurring. They can rack up if you're not making the most of it. Once you get bigger in your business, you can look at those other platforms. But I think that Etsy is a great place to start because it doesn't lock you in to those expensive plans.
Right. So the only thing, and remember, we're not sponsored by Etsy, so they're not recommending. I can say what I want.
Etsy is etsy.com. If y'all are not familiar, it is the biggest marketplace for handmade and personalized goods.
So I have a bone to pick with Etsy, though, and I'd love your feedback on this. When I'm going on Etsy, so I buy a lot of designs off of Etsy because I don't have enough. They recommend other shops on that person's page. So other shops that are not that person's page that I'm on. So I don't really love that, but I feel like that might be the like a negative towards purchasing on Etsy. But maybe on someone else's page, they see yours. So it's kind of a give or take on that, right?
Right. One of the best parts about Etsy is that if you can get started on there and you don't have to have a big established customer base, you can just get started and people can find you through Etsy search, and Google will your product will show up on Google searches through the Etsy's advertising platform, and that's what you're paying them for, is to do that advertising and technology side for you.
Okay. Now, once they've grown a little, what do you recommend?
Well, after Etsy, another small one. Before we skip forward, if you're starting small, you want to stay away from any of the platforms that charge you monthly fees. So I think the next best place for folks to list items is on Facebook Marketplace. If you're selling things in person, it's free, totally free. But if you want to do things where you ship to customers, it's really inexpensive. I think it's 10% or something like that. And then it's a reasonable processing fee. So Facebook Marketplace is another one of those platforms where people can find your stuff pretty easily without you having to do a lot of expense or a lot of work.
So, but on Facebook Marketplace, I know we were looking earlier and it was saying you could do shipping. So you could ship, but they charge the fee.
Right. If you're doing in-person transactions on Facebook, or you're directing folks to buy outside of Facebook Marketplace, you don't have to pay anything to use that platform. And everyone has a Facebook account and everyone knows how to use it. So Facebook, you already have a big customer base who's looking on Marketplace in your area. If you do want to ship, they have an additional program that's not free, but it's not that expensive. It's a 10% fee and I think a processing fee.
Right. So if you are doing Facebook Marketplace and you are meeting up, then if you are doing a market, they could always meet you at that market. If you're not doing a market and it's just you individually, I would maybe have them meet you at a police station or a fire station or somewhere. Do not go to their house. I don't really recommend that. I don't recommend people coming to your house that you do not know.
I know that in our city, Facebook, the local police station has a dedicated parking lot where you can go. It's at the police station to pay your items if you like. But I don't recommend doing all that. I recommend advertising your business and getting folks to buy it from you so you can ship it to them, or directing them to your local pop-up shop or fair that you're going to.
Which honestly, I feel like starting a Facebook of just your business. So not even your personal one, but you could if you wanted to put on your personal one, but just a Facebook page just for your business and post what you make. I feel like posting is the most important thing, that interaction of, hey, I made this. And they always say, film everything that you do. Not everything you do, but for your business content, because that's going to get you recommended and, shown a lot more. Doesn't mean you have to start a YouTube channel or anything like that. But for your business, posting it on Facebook is never a bad thing, just to get, especially when you're first starting out. And then you can let them know, hey, I'm going to be at this market if you want to come see some awesome things that I've made in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go.
Well, you asked me a question about where folks should go after if they want to have their own place to post their own items. You mentioned having a Facebook page, and I think that having your own Facebook page and Instagram page are very important so that people can find you. And then you have a link to your website from those things where people can buy from you. And I think the perfect place to sell if you're getting started is Shopify. I think it's become the biggest in the world because it's the best, and you can start off for as little as $29 per month on their program, and plus processing fees. and it lets you put your own product pages and your own website with your own checkout with only your stuff on it. So if you want to direct your customers there to see everything that you have and not lose anything to anyone else, Shopify, I think, is the best way to go.
Okay. We have a few questions. Do you mind answering them?
Certainly.
So Linda said, what kind of payment is best for online? If online, I mistrust a lot of methods and things I see online. Does Etsy check out people to see if they're legitimate?
I don't have a lot of experience listing on Etsy, but I know that they handle those payment processing concerns for you. And so I think
so you don't ever see the customer's information,
right,
like credit cards or anything like
but
that.
as far as whenever you run your own website, I think it's important to use payment methods that protect you and protect your customers. And Shopify has a lot of that stuff built in, or with very simple add-ons to add things like PayPal and other payment methods.
Yeah. Beth asked, use AI to do your subscriptions. So it uses SEO keywords that boost search engine placement. Do you agree with that?
Yes, anytime you have unique content, it's good to have it in your own voice, but if you need help making things just so, AI can be a tool you can use to help massage your message to be just the way you want it to be.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. Do we have any questions? Y'all hurry up and throw them at him. Oh, we did have one from earlier. This is not about shops, but I think you would be the better person to answer this. Which is better to have for software, Mac or Windows?
Well, I'm a Mac user, so I really love Mac OS.
You don't say.
However, when it comes to a lot of these embroidery and craft software, they really do run better on Windows. And a lot of times they run only on Windows. There used to be, back in the days of the Intel Macs, where it ran on the same insides as a regular PC, as a Windows PC, you could do some things to make it work. But now where Apple has their own chips that are distinct from the chips that Windows run on, that has really gone by the wayside. And now most things run either better on Windows or run only on Windows. So I recommend, don't try to work around it. Just get yourself a nice Windows computer to do your professional software on, and consider that a part of the package price. What I do, because I'm a Mac user, is I have my Windows desktop set up at the office that has all the software installed, and I use my Mac laptop, and I remote into my Windows computer to connect to any of that software whenever I'm on the road. So I do get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, he makes me do the same thing. I have a Windows here at the office, and I use a Mac, and so I remote desktop connect. It took him forever to teach me how to learn how to do that. But now I know how to do it. I don't even have to ask him questions. Now, John, just a caveat, there are more questions, but I know you just messaged in the private chat about the kids getting off the bus. So if you have to go, we understand. If you have time to answer them, we'd love that. So
I do have a couple more minutes, but
you do. Okay. He's amazing. He's at home getting children off the bus. So we appreciate John. Ms. Joy said, I would like to perfect my website. I am currently on Shopify. What do you recommend?
She said, who do you recommend? And there is a whole marketplace of Shopify experts who can help you perfect your website. I don't have direct experience with any of them, but they all have reviews on there. And every market, if you go into your local market and find people who work on websites, chances are they've worked on Shopify websites. So you can either find someone on the Shopify website, experts in your area, or you can just find experts in your area, and they probably know Shopify already.
Right. Karen said, is it easy to start up Shopify? Oh my gosh. She currently sells on Etsy and eBay.
Easy can be, as the difficulty of setting up a website is infinite. It could be as complicated as you want it to be. But the nice thing about Shopify is that when you're coming out of the gate, it can be very simple, as just selecting a pre-made theme, uploading your logo, adding your products, turning on the payment methods, setting up your sales tax, and then you're good to go.
Right.
But as these things go, you can infinitely customize these things, and it can become infinitely complicated. But if you want to start simple, it is the best platform, I think, for starting simply when it comes to running your own e-commerce site.
Awesome. Well, thanks, John. I got you on the show, even in this way. I don't think you've ever come on this show before, and you begrudgingly came on the other ones. I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know you got to go get kids off the bus, so thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to keep going, guys, but we're going to let John F. go. Thank you, John.
That's the doorbell. I'll talk to you later. Love you.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that really was the doorbell for the kids to get off the bus. All right. So just a little quick thing about John. He is a programmer by trade. So he's super techie, everything like that. He's fantastic. So he handles all that side of AllBrands. I don't even pretend to understand all the things that he does on that side of it all. He's fantastic. He also listens to everything, videos and stuff in 2x speed. So that's why me and him get along great. I'm already in 2x speed. So, so it works out great. But he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to things like that. So I was like, please come on, because you know way more about that back end things than I do. So we truly appreciate him making that time. But let me know in the comments, do we need to have him back on? And maybe we do a more in-depth one. Try to get my mom on here so she can tell us about the market side of it. Because those are kind of two different birds, or two different zones. The online side, like you said, it can be as complicated or as easy as you want. There are some things that are like a turnkey situation that you can sign up for, or there's ones that are more, you can kind of build them out yourself. So for me, the turnkey was a little bit easier because I didn't understand the background of all those things, where for John, he wants to play with it. He wants to program and have his customizable things that he can do. So maybe we need to have another show where we can pick his brain a little bit more. Would love to have a class on using software. I need to do that. Yeah. I'm learning more myself. So let me know. Hurry. Do we have any other questions kind of about starting your business? Because there's so many things, like I said, that you can make. You just got to find your niche of what you would like to do. I know for me, again, I noticed that it's a huge thing in the South to have first birthdays and really have a theme. And so I was taking custom orders for themes and doing shirts. Shirts were a huge thing. The shirts were a great thing for me. Again, custom Disney ears were a lot of fun. So like these that I did on the show, I think. Wait, I have to see if I can show them closely. They light up and it says best day ever from Rapunzel. And I even had my ScanNCut do a custom, the little sun that she has on that movie. And I even had it cut out the vinyl and stitched it together for the little ears. So my ScanNCut did a great job. And then I had that design in the machine. And so I could do things like this. And I got stopped so many times. Ooh, they're kind of bent. I got stopped so many times at Disney, and people were like, what shop did you buy your custom Disney ears from? And I was like, me, I'm actually made these. So the little balloons that they have at Disney, these are so easy. And this, you can see on the back, this was cut out by the ScanNCut. It was like a fabric. So super easy. And I could make these in batches, and it was so much fun to do. So again, find your niche, find what you like to make. Is always the hardest part of it all. I like to make all the things. And then word of mouth starting out with, I feel like my biggest supporters at the beginning of starting my business was my family. And like my mom and my sister and cousins and stuff like that, telling people like, hey, look what she made, and posting it are going to be your best friends. Great pictures of your products are so important. And I take terrible pictures. Any recommendations? Your phone usually has a pretty good camera on it. So I would say bring it outside, like on a nice sunny day, because then you get free lighting. And then maybe take like a piece of cardboard or like cardstock that's like a colored one. Or I used to take tiles. I had these really pretty tiles. And so I would put my product on the tile, and you wouldn't tell that it wasn't like a whole piece, but like a little tile. I would take pictures on them. So then they had a nice smooth background to it. And, but yeah, your phone usually has a great camera on it. And just take it outside so you get that good lighting. Make sure that there's no shadow that you're casting on it, and you can take some good quality photos with that. I will tell you today, even with my phone for our marketing team for next month, we're doing some stuff in the store. I went and took my cell phone and took some pictures of things. And I was like, hey, add this to the thing. So let's see, but great question. Thank you. Can I use the ScanNCut designs that are not Disney to sell, or to modify them to create a craft I can sell? I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble to say, but if you're modifying it, yeah, that's fine. Oh, dang, everything I make, I give away. You got to quit doing that. I mean, it's nice. Honestly, my sisters benefit from it. But start selling some items too. And you don't have to do a whole big thing if you don't want to. If you just want to do a little bit for like some extra side hustle money, then you can absolutely do that. So a lot of times I would do hats. So I would do vinyl on hats or an embroider on hats. Embroidering, man, again, embroidering school logos, that's going to keep you busy. So doing that, we have local plants near here like Exxon and Georgia Pacific. Hats, jackets, logo shirts, like you will stay busy doing that. It's crazy amazing, but it's fantastic. Oh, thank you so much. Barbara Jones said, Darling Designs. The shipping part would not be fun for me. Nancy, so if you don't want to do shipping, then local markets, you can kind of find out, reach out to your local commerce of whatever city you live in and ask them, hey, do y'all have any craft fairs? Again, holiday fairs are right around the corner. And my mom I told you, she does a lot of markets and she is making so much stuff right now because she knows that it is about to be her busy time. And she said, now is the time to jump in and get it started because again, she's about to sell some really, really good things. This is her time. We don't talk to her right now. Okay. She's busy. So, all right, guys, let me know if y'all have any other questions. I'd be happy to answer them. But Lauren, let's go ahead and bring up that giveaway because we are going to give away an AllBrands $25 e-gift card. So let's bring that up. Lauren, our imaginary friend. We got to get Lauren on the show one day. Let's see. There we go. Who is it? Nancy Gross, congratulations. Nancy, you just won an AllBrands $25 e-gift card. Nancy, please email events@allbrands with your name.com with your name, number, and address to claim your $25 e-gift card. Again, Nancy, that is events@allbrands.com with your name, number, and address to claim your $25 e-gift card. Oh, we have been going for a good bit. Lauren, remember how I said today's show was going to be short? Yeah, that didn't happen. We didn't even get into everything that I wanted to get into because there's so much to this and I could talk about it all day, every day, because the amount of people that come up to me and they're like, I took my machine out of the box. I'm using it. I'm selling things up from my machine and it's so much fun and I'm able to do it from home. That is probably one of the biggest things I get is people who want to make something at home, start a side business, or they need to be home for like kids or whatever the reason is. And this is giving them that flexibility. So that makes me super happy to hear. But if you guys have any questions, of course, leave them in the chat. I'd be happy to answer them. If we need to get John back on here, he's a wealth of knowledge and he's fantastic. Or if you're like, Courtney, I'm not doing a business. I just have a lot of fun with my machine. That's okay too. Let's see. Not a business question. Can you tell me why the 7x12 has 2 openings on the hoop on both ends of it? Just to give you flexibility to make it a little bit easier to hoop. That's the same thing on the Avenir 18¼ inch hoop. There's 2 openings on both sides just for that reason, just to make it easier to, if you know what that word means. There we go. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will see you Saturday where I am answering your questions that you left on the last show for AllBrands After Hours. I will be on there. And then next week, I'm heading to San Antonio. So San Antonio Academy, that is right around the corner. I cannot wait to hang out with you guys. And thank you to everyone who came to AllBrands Academy Lafayette. We had way too much fun. It was way too much fun. I saw Sewing Gal. We got to hang out in person. So it was great. So thank you for everyone for hanging out with me. Thank you for everyone that's coming to Academy. And of course, Academies are sold out. But you know what's not sold out? Houston Quilt Festival. Houston Quilt Festival is October 9th through 12th this year. I know it's early. So plan your trip to come see us at Houston Quilt Festival. There's going to be tons of awesome educators like Angela Wolf. If you didn't catch the video I did with her on her channel, she is fantastic. Jerry Granada, Alexis Galloway. She's so much fun. I love Alexis. Cindy Hogan. You all know I love Cindy Hogan. So make sure you're coming out to Houston Quilt Festival to come meet me in person. It is one of the biggest quilt festivals in the world. It's wild. It's so much fun. I will be in the Brother booth, of course, with Brother, having so much fun. So I'll see you guys there. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more videos. I'll see y'all then. Bye, y'all.